Good morning, internet folks. I hope you're doing well. Let me know down in the comments. Now, I don't like to pick favorites, but on the arbitrary bird ranking scale, chickadees, they're pretty high up there. Around a 7 out of 11.5. When I was a patrol leader in Scouts, I would bring my troop out to a hiking trail and we would feed the chickadees, but a lot of the kids couldn't hold their hands out for long enough. I'd get them to sit down and we'd put it on their hat or wherever, and then they would sit there and you could see that they're getting impatient, and then a chickadee would come, land on their hat, start eating, and you could see the wonder in their eye. I'm pretty proud of that. A lot of these kids, they still, even years later, they talk to me about it and they say how important that memory was for them. That's a big reason why I love chickadees. Chickadees are small and bold. If you're sitting long enough, they will come and eat out of your hands. Let's get into the wildlife documentary. That is the life of the chickadee. They are small but plentiful birds. They prefer to stay together, so if you see one, you are likely to see more. The most common type of chickadee where I am from is the black-capped chickadee. There are a couple different kinds of chickadees. All of this information and pictures are from the Merlin birding app. I would highly recommend it. Now, the chickadee is part of the tit family, and there are 55 species of chickadees and tits. But in this video, I'm only going to show you a few. Number 1, the black-capped chickadee. They get their name from the black cap on their heads. They live predominantly in northern USA and in Canada. It is the state bird of Maine, Massachusetts. It is also the provincial bird of New Brunswick, in my lovely country, Canada. The males are a bit larger than the females. They weigh from 9 to 14 grams, the same as a AAA battery. The black-capped chickadee enjoys eating insects, especially caterpillars. The bird will hop along tree branches searching for food, sometimes hanging upside down or hovering. They may make short flights to catch insects in the air. Seeds and berries become more important in the winter. Though insect eggs and pupa, the species rates a 7 out of 20 on the Continental Concern score, indicating a low species of conservation concern. Number 2, the Mexican chickadee. The Mexican chickadee gets its name from where it calls home. The Mexican chickadee lives in northern and central Mexico. The Mexican chickadee comes in at a whopping 7.5 to 11 grams. That is the same as an awe-inspiring 2 whole pennies. If you happen to be in the area of Mexico, where might you find these beloved birds? They spend all of their time in wooded highlands in western, central, and northeastern Mexico. They can also be found as far as the most southern eastern parts of Arizona and in New Mexico. 3, Carolina chickadee. In the winter months, the Carolina chickadee's diet consists of about half plants, half animals. In the remaining months of the year, they shift to a diet of insects and spiders. They can often be seen hanging upside down from branches to catch these critters. Carolina chickadees may be found in the deciduous and mixed deciduous conifers, woodland, swamps, open woods, and parks, and also in suburban and urban areas. Geographically, they can be found in the United States from New Jersey west to southern Kansas and south to Florida and Texas. They will stay in their homelands even in harsh winters. They weigh the same as a plastic pen, which comes in around 10 grams, with the Carolina chickadee coming in around 9 to 12 grams. They rank 10 out of 20 on the Continental Concern, indicating a species of low conservation concern. 4, mountain chickadee. Mountain chickadees eat protein-rich insects and spiders during the warm months, supplementing them with seeds and nuts as available, hanging upside down to pluck insects or seeds from cones. Common across most of the evergreen forest and western mountains, particularly pine, mixed conifer, spruce fir, and juniper forests. Mountain chickadees use conifers heavily. Mountain chickadees will seek out any available aspen tree for their soft, easily excavated wood. They rank an 11 out of 20 on the Continental Concern score. The oldest recorded mountain chickadee was a male and at least 10 years old when he was identified alive in the wild in Utah in 1974. He was originally banded there in 1965. Chickadees make a plethora of sounds, but they are mostly known for the call that gives them their name. Most of the seeds that myself and others will feed them will be sunflower seeds. They do quite like them, but in the wild, they eat a much more wide variety of seeds and insects. They are preyed upon by the usual culprits of bird predation, such as house cats and larger birds. They have the same issue as all the other small birds of crashing into windows. Here is a TikTok of my friend who recently experienced a bird collision incident. She had a gorgeous pine grouse. The bird has made a full recovery shortly after, only suffering a slight daze from the collision. Unfortunately, other birds do not have such luck. If you are wanting to photograph any kind of chickadees, here are my recommendations. The first tip to aid you in photographing the small and fast birds would be to shoot with a high shutter speed. If you are videoing them, use slow motion. Typically, you want to aim at a branch or bush near where they are feeding because they will commonly go back to the same spot to crack open the seeds. The second tip would be try your best to be patient, as it can take a while. I find that if it does take a while, headphones with a podcast does wonders. Bird photography can be a tedious endeavor. If you need a podcast to try, look up Stuff You Should Know. It is a conversational podcast between two fantastically interesting and curious individuals. They dive into a plethora of topics. Tip number 3, perhaps you learn about the birds you want to photograph. I am always a big believer in learning and respecting the animals. Since you have watched this video, I think that you either agree or that you are already started on this journey. I have recommended this app beforehand and will continue to preach its praises. The app is called Merlin. It is a free app that is overflowing with utilization in my field of wildlife photography. It allows you to call out to the birds and shows you where they can be found and their seasons of breeding. It also has a ton of information about how to distinguish the males and females, and any photos that you take, you can feed them into the app and it will help identify the bird. If you want your footage at the end of my video, send your wildlife footage to me. I would love to see it and share it with the world. Credit will be given, of course. That is the end of today's content. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you fine internet folks next Tuesday morning.